So I was away for the weekend, 2 hours away from my home, and I figured I'd make this video for sure once I'd come back. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, Skyrim is out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, Skyrim has had like 7 or 8 ports at this point. It's a dirty hooker, just like Resident Evil 4. I'm sure they're both tied neck and neck for how many ports a game could fucking possibly have. But they are good games, and for some reason, I'm always compelled to buy them here and there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I own Skyrim on a multitude of platforms. I own it on Xbox 360. I own it on PlayStation 3. I have it on PC, Xbox One, and now the Switch. So, of course, you can tell that I've never bought these games full price except for the Switch and the Xbox 360. Okay, let me make that fact abundantly clear. I'm not sucking off Todd Howard or anything like that. I just like Skyrim. Now, Skyrim I've played through once fully. All right. Least to say I was pretty disappointed by the actual ending of the game, but I played Skyrim once, and this is actually my second full legit playthrough. I've always tried to get into Skyrim over and over again, but every time you get into that cart opening scene, my fucking god, do you want to shoot your goddamn brains out. It's annoying as shit. Now, this isn't really a review for Skyrim the game. I think that's already happened. We already know what the fuck Skyrim is, okay? Skyrim is a game, if you don't know, it's a fantasy role-playing game set in the Elder Scrolls universe. Alright, it's got your traditional Elder Scrolls gameplay, it's got a large map, it's got a bunch of stuff to do, it's got an amazing world to really get yourself into. I'll tell you this right now, if you've never played the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, I recommend you to get this game, alright? It's a game that you can invest hundreds upon hundreds of hours into. Nowadays, you've got amazing gameplay additions like loot boxes and microtransactions, and I'm pretty sad to say that Skyrim doesn't really have that. I mean, if you have any of these fucking amiibos lying around, I only have this one because I bought Twilight Princess, you can actually connect it into your Skyrim game. But if you have an amiibo, you can connect it to the Switch version of the game and get some loot boxes if you want. Fair point aside from that. But Skyrim's one of those games where it came before the time of the loot box era of gaming. It's a full game. It's got multiple cities. It's got a whole giant world. It's got a bunch of guilds. Its main campaign is overshadowed by just side campaigns, side quests, entire sections where you're encountering the dark Daedric quest lines. You're encountering whole guilds that have quest lines rivaling full games, full $60 releases, you know, full single-player campaigns nowadays. Skyrim is a huge game. Every Elder Scrolls game is a big game. Skyrim is no exception. Now, aside from the blatant review I can give to you about Skyrim, you know, how great its ambient sounds, how great the quest lines can be, how fun mixing, matching, creating a character class can really be. We're talking about Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. Now, during the initial reveal for the Switch, I remember distinctly we saw Skyrim, and it was kind of hazy at the time. We thought that Skyrim wasn't going to show up, but it definitely did show up alongside Breath of the Wild, NBA, Mario Kart, all the games that were showcased initially for the Switch. Skyrim was one of the selling points for a lot of people who were going to get a Nintendo Switch anyways. The fact that you could take Skyrim on the go. Around the time, I had received a product called the GPD Win, which I actually showed you all that I was playing Skyrim on it natively, and it worked pretty fine. This is Skyrim running on the Nintendo Switch. Now, why is this necessarily important? I myself was pretty excited for this release. I was waiting for the Switch version to come out so I could get back into Skyrim. Even though I have the game on my PC and Xbox One, I didn't really enjoy playing the game on my PC anyways. I get into this phase where I mod the hell out of the game and I just don't play it anymore. Xbox One, I just didn't feel like sitting down and playing Skyrim anymore. You know, sitting down in front of a computer like this. In fact, most of my gaming I actually don't even prefer it this way anymore. The reason why I wanted to get the Switch version of Skyrim is because this is a good port of the game, and you can play it portably all the time any way you want. So I figured once I get this game, I was going to put it to the test. I went away for 2 hours up north in Canada, and I decided I'm going to take the Switch with me and see how it performs really when I'm out and about, and in the off time out in my little brief weekend getaway that I could play the Switch and see how the Skyrim really holds up. And I'm proud to actually state this is the full version of Skyrim. Now, Graphically speaking, it's not the best looking version of the game. I think a lot of people unfairly try to compare the Nintendo Switch to like the Xbox One X or a high-end PC. Fact is, it's a little gaming tablet, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the fact that Skyrim's running on this, games like Doom is a big thing, anyways. It's not the prettiest looking version of the game, but let's be goddamn serious here. Skyrim was never the best looking version of anything, ladies and gentlemen. Skyrim was always one of those games that was pretty to look at as a whole, I guess, if you were slightly drunk. All right. Because Skyrim was never a pretty looking game, but it holds up for the most part. Think of this game as a slight advancement over the Xbox 360 PS3 versions, but below the PC, PS4, and Xbox One versions. It has the added benefits of using some of the assets and reworking from the special edition that had come out on the PS4 and Xbox One, but it runs at a resolution obviously much lower than those systems, but it still runs higher, or at least equal, to what the last generation versions of Skyrim ran at. The sounds are all fine, it's redone, it's retouched up, the bugs are fixed up as much as Bethesda really could, and ultimately it is a special edition version of the game just running on the Switch. It's got quick saving, it's got all the features of the next generation version, all the DLCs, all the stuff is there. It's got all the downloadable content, all the base game stuff. This is the full version of Skyrim. Now, portability-wise, I was actually really impressed by this version of the game, too. Normally with Switch games, battery life is a weird conundrum. If you're playing a game like Breath of the Wild, I find, a battery life of 2 hours, 3 hours is common. It's average. Doom, little less than that. With Doom, I'm getting about 2.5 hours, 2 hours of battery life. Skyrim, I was able to eke out 5 hours of total battery usage. It's not as good as Stardew Valley, which is 10 hours, but then again, Stardew Valley is a 2D game versus a 3D full open world action RPG that Skyrim is. 5 hours for portable Skyrim is pretty good battery life. Performance-wise, the game runs pretty much at 30 frames per second all the way through in and out. It has some slight hitches when there's a lot of shit going on, but you have to be really sensitive to really detect those hitches if they exist really at all. Gameplay-wise, it's all there. This is the full version of Skyrim or anything that you could have expected. There's not really much more to say to that. The storyline's all there. The actual base game is entirely present. This is as close as portable Skyrim. In fact, this is the portable way to officially play Skyrim. Now, of course, you can also get products like the GPD Win, but even with the GPD Win, I always found that playing the game, it was always really iffy with the control scheme. That has partly to do with the fact that the GPD Win has a different control scheme anyways. It doesn't have any clickable keys, things like that. It's also requiring you to put in a little bit more technical focus into setting up Windows, Steam, and all that kind of stuff. It's not plug and play like the Nintendo Switch is. And beyond that, performance on the GPD Win starts to die down a little bit in certain like-for-like locations on the Nintendo Switch platform when you're playing Skyrim. This is the best way to play Skyrim, in my opinion, when you factor in the fact that you're playing portably as well as on the home console. You have to make a compromise between the good visuals and taking the system with you anywhere you want to go. Now, I've recorded footage of it actually being played on the handset and being played on the TV, and the TV is, again, it's pretty fuzzy, but if you can deal with that, it is basically the same game that you're getting on the PS4. 30 frames on both systems. PS4 looks nicer, but you can't really take it with you. And I think the whole gimmick of you playing the hell out of Skyrim, taking it out of the dock and taking it with you anywhere you go, is pretty damn impressive. Adding to the fact that you can just close the Switch anytime you want, power it on, and go right from closing the system in sleep mode and powering it on to basically playing the game without any loading screen or starting the game up in between. The load times are okay. They're not exactly, PC SSD-like quality, but they're certainly not bad. It's going to take a couple seconds more to load if you've been playing on the PC, but for the most part, it runs pretty damn fine. Now, I don't want to really keep this video going as far as it has. I've had a lot of fun with Skyrim. It's making me reevaluate things. Maybe I'd like to see games like Persona 5 Golden Edition on the Switch. I know I talk about that game a lot, but it's pretty damn good. And other action RPGs such as the Assassin's Creed franchise eventually make its way. This proves that the system is good, and ultimately it gives you that perfect hybrid feeling of having the game with you anywhere you go and coming home to set it down on a system and play with it anytime you feel like it. Ultimate freedom. That being said, I'm going to end this video. I think this version, if you haven't played Skyrim, I think you can drop down the $60. Certainly it's a game far, far away from the microtransactions of today. And if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my quick review of Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. A little cringy, I understand, but hey, let me know what you think about it. I'm going to go back to playing this game. Let me see you all later.